Let's look at some of the controls and when we play back the song. So clicking start, we'll talk about it in a minute, but when it's playing back, you'll generally have a blue bar for the section that's active and a dark blue bar for the progress of that section. You also see that other sections have the word next to it, and that shows you what section is coming up next. But of course, it means that you can probably change what's coming up next. So when you click on a different section, it will show you what next section is going to be lined up. So as the song gets to the end of a section, you can choose to jump through the set as you want. So here, for example, in this song, This Is Our God, I don't want to go to chorus first. I want to actually go from verse 1 to verse 2. So I click on verse 2, and I know when it ends verse 1, it's going to jump across to verse 2 itself. And that can be really helpful if you're trying to move around a set on the fly, thinking about doing something different to respond to what the Holy Spirit's doing in the room or in the congregation. So here in an example, you see it comes to the end of the section. Instead of jumping to the chorus 1, it's going to jump across to verse 2. What's cool is the backing track actually changes what it plays to suit the overlap for the next appropriate section. You can do this with any section. Just note that once you're already in the penultimate or the final section, you can't then jump out of it. It's worth noting that before you start playback, you can't choose to start in the middle of a song. You have to start with the intro of a song. You can start with the second song in the intro, or the first song in the intro, or the third song in the intro, or a picture or a pause. You just can't start in the middle of a song. No, actually, when I say that, that's not entirely true. I have found a hack to allow you to start in the middle of the song, but to check that out, you have to see later in the video, so stay tuned. Next, some really basic controls. You'll see there's buttons, a green button and a red button at the bottom. You'll see before you start playing, it says start. You hit that when on start of a song, and it will start playing, and the bottom will start, say, playing, and it will actually become smaller as well, which is really handy. But actually, that button changes depending on what sort of medium you're playing back. So when you're in a song, it will say playing. When you're in a pause, it will say resume. And when you're on a picture, it will say next. All those things are pretty self-explanatory. It is worth noting that once you're playing, the green button does not turn to a pause button. At no point does a green button represent pause, and there's no way to pause a song in the middle of playback, only to end the song or to fade or to quickly stop the song. The next thing I want to show you is the red button. So here we are, we're playing through a song, and we can see the red button now says end song. That means that when you press that button, it will automatically select the end of the song as the next section is going to play. So it's going to continue playing out the main section, and then it's going to jump to the end section. And that's really helpful if you're in the middle of the song and you just want to end it effectively wherever you are. And then the end of the song is going to jump onto the next song like it's done here. Now you can see that actually now the button has stopped saying end, it now says fade. So when I click fade, what that means is now going to go through a process of fading out the track slowly over a set default period of time which you cannot change. If you actually want to stop the song, you can hit stop, and then it's going to start to fade down quicker. Click again, and it says stop quickly, and that means it's going to stop even quicker. Once the song has stopped, wherever it is from that quick fade out, the button now says clear. What clear means, it will take out any of the pre-loaded media that you want to play. So whether it's a song, arrangement, picture, or pause, it will then produce this screen, which shows you that nothing is lined up to play. Now, if I try and press the green button, nothing happens. I now need to go back, and I need to add something to play in the playlist. So I'm going to add the playlist back again. As I mentioned earlier, when playing a song and you end it, when you have two songs back to back without a picture or pause between, when you hit the end of the song, iSingWorship will automatically start the next song. There will be no break or a stop allowing you to start in your own time. If you want to stop between two songs, you want to make sure you add a pause in there. There is a slight bit of silence as the last track finishes and the new track starts. There is no chance to overlap two songs currently in iSingWorship. So if you want a super smooth transition with no silence at all, you might need to be playing a guitar or a keyboard along with it, because that's not an option in the app currently.